Hi loves, and happy Foundation Friday. It's me, Elle, and we're in a different location. As you can see, I'm sitting in my car in the parking lot at my local mall. It's called the Meadows, I believe, here in Colorado. And today we're going to be talking all about how to find the best finish of your foundation for your skin type. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but at first we're going to go on a shopping trip. So if you want to know more about that, hit the subscribe button, share this video with somebody you think might like it, and let's do it. All right, so before we go into Sephora inside JCPenney, I want to thank them so much for partnering with me on this video today, and I have a giveaway for you. It's going to be a gift certificate to Sephora inside JCPenney. I'm super excited to do that with you, so you have to stay with me to the end to find out all the rules. But thank you so much for supporting me, Sephora inside JCPenney. But let's talk about finish. So we talk a lot about like finding our holy grail foundation. I get this question asked a ton. So for me, I have more normal to drier skin types. So if that is your skin type, you need to look for a finish on a foundation that says natural. Or dewy would be great too, but you have to really love that dewy look. If you are more normal to dry, getting a foundation that is more of that skin-like finish, so they call it a skin finish or a natural finish, is going to be the best bet for you. Of course, if you're oily or combination, getting something that's a little bit more matte or skin-like is going to be best for you because that's just how they formulated it. Now, I do love a good dewy foundation. I do. I've reviewed many of them, and many of them are my favorites. But as I'm aging, I'm finding that I need to really stick to specific foundations that are meant for my skin type, just because wearability really matters. Also, how it lays on the skin and how it's actually formulated. Now, that doesn't mean to say that I couldn't wear a matte foundation and have an illuminizing primer underneath it. I've done it many a times, but it's not something that I would wear every day. So that's kind of more like, for me, that's what we're trying to address here, is getting that perfect finish to your foundation that your skin type calls for. So we're going to go inside Sephora, inside JCPenney, and I'm going to show you a few of my favorites for each skin type, and I'm going to buy one and review it for you. All right, so stick with me. Okay, so this is definitely going to be one that I am going to be trying. I'm probably going to get a sample of this new Fenty Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation. So this Cover FX one I have reviewed before, and it is really great for normal to oily skin types, for sure. It goes on like a dream. All right, so I'm back. I couldn't film inside Sephora, inside JCPenney very much because of the music, and I want you guys to be able to see this video. So I did end up getting the new Anastasia foundation. This is called Anastasia of Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation, and I got it in 220N, and I tried that on, and it was pretty darn close. So I'm really excited to try that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take the next couple of days, I'm going to try this foundation out, and then we're going to talk about foundations and making them work for you and how you're able to really find that perfect finish in a foundation. That really might make the search a lot easier. That way you can kind of cut out the rest of the foundations, that don't fit that category for your skin type. All right, so I'll see you soon. All right, so it is several days later, and we're gonna get into this. So I want to break this down a little bit for you guys. So foundations can be very confusing in the name. Now, what you really want to look for, especially Sephora is very good at this, so they'll give you like coverage, and then it'll give you the finish of the foundation. It'll tell you matte, natural, skin-like, or dewy, or luminous. So that is kind of how you can gauge this best. Now, of course, this doesn't take into consideration coverage because all of these foundations have different coverages. That's why this is such a kind of hard playing field, to work out, to be honest with you, or to navigate. When I went to Sephora inside JCPenney, I actually got samples. They have no problem giving you guys samples, and I do it all the time. So it really is great to sample foundations. So for a dry and dehydrated skin type, my recommendation is to look in the description of the foundation, but you want to look for those words, okay? The words that say dewy, luminous, hydrating, things of that nature. Usually CC creams, BB creams, tinted moisturizers are going to be fantastic for you as well because they lend themselves in formulation to hydration and adding glow back into the skin type like a dry or dehydrated skin that has lost its glow. Now, normal skin, it's basic, that's not really a skin type, but it is just like I have normal skin, right? People say. It's really, you can wear pretty much anything you want because it is on average normal. So it's not too glowy, it's not too dry, it's not too oily. You can pretty much wear whatever you want. Now, if you are more combination and oily, that is where you definitely want to go more towards that matte, soft matte. You could actually go for a skin-like finish, but it might be too glowy for you throughout the day. So that's why going more poignanted when you're talking about foundations is really important. It's not as important. I know it's fun, obviously, I have a channel around it, but trying all the new foundations that come out, the new fads, things like that. But it's really going to kind of help narrow your search and hopefully reduce your stress over foundation shopping when you go for the type of finish that you're looking for. So that brings me to what I have chosen today, and it is obviously, like you saw, it's the new Anastasia foundation. So it is the Anastasia of Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation. Now on the box it says that it is a medium coverage foundation with a luminous natural finish. Okay, so what that tells you is that it does have a little slight hydration to it, but it still looks like a natural finish, how normal skin would look. So that's how you kind of can navigate the foundations when you're out there, really looking at the name. I do love that this foundation is vegan, cruelty-free, gluten-free, alcohol-free. It is clinically tested, dermatologist tested, ophthalmologist tested, non-comedogenic, suitable for sensitive skin, long wearing, and no flashback. So that is great. And I know that you guys have been wanting me to try this foundation for all of those reasons. So I applaud Anastasia for really going into what a lot of people are asking for nowadays, which are all of those things. This foundation I picked in 220N. That is the color that I picked. Now, another thing to note is that when you have picked the right finish of foundation, you really hope not to have to use a primer. I'll be very honest with you. I mean, that's the goal of picking the appropriate finish to a foundation, is A, that your skincare underneath it isn't too heavy, and B, that you hope to not use a primer, right? We hope to have a little quicker morning routine and less layers. So that is one goal. Also, the second goal is to not have to set your foundation very much at all, if not at all. Maybe just use a finishing powder or a touch of translucent powder at the end of your application. So that's trying to minimize the effects of what the foundation needs to look like in your opinion, okay? So for example, if I was to go with a more matte foundation, I would have to use a luminous primer and then some sort of finishing powder that has like a glowy shift to it. All right, so let me show you how this foundation works. So this foundation, like I read, is a medium coverage foundation. I have worn this the past several days and it has been going on beautifully on my skin. I do prefer it with a damp beauty sponge, and that's what I am using. I did use it with a brush and I did use it with my hands. I really preferred the control and coverage I got from a sponge for my skin type. So here it is, and I only use 2 pumps for the whole face, maybe not even that much. And this foundation I really think is going to be great. I'll scoot you guys in a second, and we also will go into natural light. But I think, look at what a great color match that is. And just by the way, if you're going into the store, make sure you match it to your chest, not your neck and not your jawline. Match it to your chest and you will get a really great match most every time. But what I like about this foundation is that has no scent to it, first of all. It is long wearing. I have gotten at least 6 good hours of this. And I will show you at the end of this video, the giveaway details, but also 6 hours in, I will show you what this foundation looked like. But the foundation is really easy to blend, it's easy application, and it just looks really great on the skin. I mean, honestly, it's very, very quick. It does go really well over my nose. I don't really know how they formulated this with quite cool ingredients without the alcohol and such, and it still gets a great finish to it. All right, so there we go. I'm just gonna put a little bit on my forehead. All right, so here we are. This is one pass through, and that is about a pump and a half on my face. And you can still see it is definitely a medium coverage. I mean, everything that the foundation says is exactly what it is. It feels extremely lightweight on the skin. I can barely feel that I'm wearing anything. It's perfected my imperfections. I can still see my pigmentation right here, which does not bother me, but you know this is how we normally do every foundation review. I just put a little extra here. This foundation does build nicely, but if you're looking for a full coverage, you can kind of get a full coverage, but not really. That's not what this foundation is for. This is definitely more of a skin, you know, kind of like foundation, or a skin coverage foundation that looks like a second skin. And that's what it is. I mean, it looks great on the forehead. It's got really great on the nose. I don't need a primer for my nose area. Like I said, the foundation on the forehead looks really good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how I finish this foundation up in just 1 minute. All right, so a lot is on at the moment. There is no powder on my face, and I just wanted to show you what it looks like to explain the finish that I'm trying to talk to you about. So again, my skin is more on the normal to dry side, so my skin does benefit from a foundation that adds a tiny bit of moisture into the skin. So you can see that I have no powder on, except for just under my eyes. But I have the glow here, the glow in the center of my face, all over here has a nice healthy finish to it. It doesn't look overly luminous, it doesn't look dry, and it just accentuates good texture on the skin, okay? So here is where we are at. I just want to show you what the skin looks like. Pretty, right? Okay, so there is hardly any tackiness to this foundation whatsoever. So somehow they've created it being kind of this more natural skin finish, luminous finish, without having that overly hydrated effect to the skin. So you don't have to set this if you don't want to. For me, I like to take a baked powder. You know, I've talked about this powder a lot. This is the Micro Smooth powder from Sephora. I take it on my damp beauty blender, just a little bit, and I go ahead and just set a little bit around the face, just to make sure that it's all nice and locked in. So I wouldn't go in with a translucent powder for this foundation because I don't want to matte this down. Remember when we talk about baked powders, it means that the powder was once a liquid and then they baked it and it becomes a powder. So it has a natural luminosity to the powder itself in the way that it was created. All baked powders do. So that's it. That's all I do with the powdering. So let's go into natural light and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so here we are in natural light. I'll show you like I normally do. So here's the skin. This by far has been one of the foundations that I've worn recently that I've very thoroughly enjoyed wearing. I'll be very honest with you. I think it makes the skin look gorgeous. I think it's easy to use. I think it feels so lightweight on the skin. It takes seconds to apply. So I'm really happy that I actually really enjoy this. And for me and for my skin type, it works like a dream. So hang in with me there. I'm gonna give you a few check-ins and I'll see you in a little bit. All right, love. So here we are at a total of 8 hours. Everyone is home, so if you hear them talking in the background, here's what the skin looks like. So 8 hours of wear is pretty darn good in my books for my day. Who I think this foundation would be good for is honestly who it's formulated for, which I think would be everybody from slightly dry to a slightly combination. There is my daughter. Say hi. Slightly combination. I don't know. I think it might be a little too glowy for oily skin. And I think maybe if you were going to be using this, if you have kind of dehydrated or veering on dehydrated skin, trying to use a hydrating primer would be a great option with it as well. But, you know, I'm really glad that I have it. I'm super excited to wear it again. It's definitely going to be in my arsenal of foundations to wear. So now, giveaway time. It is unfortunately only going to be open to the US for this one, but it is 18 years and older, and it's going to be a $50 gift certificate for Sephora inside JCPenney. I will have all of the details for the giveaway in the description box, like when it ends, and again, how to enter. Obviously, all you have to do is just go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what your favorite foundation is for your skin type. All right, thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Lots of love from me to you. Bye, loves. Say bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.